According to reports, Arsenal have a budget of 300 million to spend this summer transfer window. If that is 100% the case, that is absolutely exciting, man. That would be extremely exciting. Now, I think we're definitely going to spend more than 200 million. If we do get to 300 million, then man, I cannot wait for this transfer window. I already cannot wait for it with the new director and everything. I can't wait to see, the new targets, a new director. Maybe you're not going to have the same targets as we had before. All that is very exciting. Now, the 300 million, this season, like in the Champions League, we are earning a lot of money as the farther we go. And obviously, last summer transfer window, the money that we sold Smith Rowe for, sold Nketiah for, and all those guys, we never really spent that money. And then this transfer window as well, we're going to, some players are going to leave as well now. Most of them are going to be on a free, but we could get maybe at least one sell in terms of money. And then the players who are on loan, we might end up getting some money for them. You're going to get money for players like Tavares. They claim I thought apologies. Tavares is one of the players that we are going to get money for. Lokonga, we might, and those other players who are on loan. So 300 million would be stunning if you can spend that money. So let's first cover that, and then we'll talk about the players that you've been linked to, and then also a couple of players who might end up staying at Arsenal. So let's start with this. Let's start with this one, and that is on the budget. So according to reports from the second line says information confirms that Arsenal has 300 million for the next transfer window. So I've seen this from a couple of journalists. Let's be honest, the last three transfer windows, especially the January transfers have been very, non-exciting. We didn't buy any in the last two January transfer windows, and the one that has just passed the summer transfer window, the players that we wanted to buy, we didn't get any of them. I remember at the beginning of the transfer window, I was asked which player do I want the most in this transfer window, and I said Gyökeres. That was the player I wanted. Now, we didn't end up getting Gyökeres, we didn't end up getting Isaac, we didn't end up getting Sesko, we didn't end up getting Nico Williams, we didn't end up getting Bakayoko, the player I also wanted as a differential and all that. You didn't end up getting any of those players. Instead, we got Calafiori, which a very exciting signing. A lot of players wanted him. Exciting Italian defender this season. He's also more attacking-wise than defensive-wise. And he's also had injury problems. Same with Merino. He's also had injury problems at the beginning of his Arsenal career. And then there's Sterling, which hasn't worked. Everyone agrees with that. And then Raya making the deal permanent. That was great. David Raya joining Arsenal permanently. That's a great signing, but obviously he was already there the previous season, so it didn't really excite fans as much as maybe it could have if he was just signed this past transfer window. So no attacking players at all, not what you wanted in this in that past transfer window. But this time, we messed up last time. This time we have to make it correct. Now, there's a conversation people have always had throughout this season. I don't get into that conversation about it and all that. Now, if you give him 300 million and you have a new director and all that, and then next one it doesn't work again, then we can potentially have a conversation. But I'd like to think with 300 million, we'd make the right decisions this time around. I'd like to hope so, because it's so obvious. It's so clear what we need. It's so clear what we need. We cannot, next on something we can't do is to overplay Saka again, overplay Havertz again, overplay Odegaard again, and all these players. No, we need, defensively, we're okay. No one is asking for us to sign a defender. No one is asking for us to sign a goalkeeper to replace Raya, although there's a few who are doing that. That's crazy. No one needs a replacement for Raya right now. No one is asking for a replacement for Declan Rice and all that. We need forward players. That is what we need. And 300 million, that would definitely do the job. 300 million would definitely do the job. That would get you at least 4 top signings, and not all of them have to be 100 million. If you get a top striker, of course, it's going to cost you 90 to 100, but the other 200 million, you can get a 40 million winger, 50 million winger. You can get another even backup wing, another one for like 15 million, just to add to the numbers. We cannot go into next one once again with a squad of what feels like it's like 13 players only. Like if one gets injured, we're in trouble. No, we can't do that next season. So according to the reports, we do have 300 million million. A couple of seasons ago when you bought Rice and Havertz, I think it was 250. So the 300 million is not too crazy because two seasons ago we spent 105 on Rice, we spent 65 on Havertz, and we spent 40 plus on Timber. We spent a lot of money that transfer window, so that was already 200 million plus for just those three players. So let's hope the 300 million is accurate. And Andrea Beta is going to be very, very crucial. Now, let's go back to the first paragraph. According to Ben Jacobs, Andrea Beta is keen to sign Bruno Guimaraes along with Martin Zubimendi. Now, again, that is interesting. Those are two midfielders, Bruno Guimaraes and Zubimendi. Those are two midfielders that are going to cost a lot of money. Zubimendi is like 50 million and Bruno Guimaraes will be like 70 million. So if they actually ended up getting both, that is already 120 million. Now, if it's 300 million, you still want to have 180 million to spend on a backup goalkeeper, a striker, and a winger as well. Now, Andrea Beta, our new director, is going to be announced soon, probably during the international break. He does want Bruno Guimaraes, and obviously we had already basically done enough work to sign Zubimendi in the transfer window. Now, is that a case of maybe Andrea Beta coming in thinking, actually, I wanted Bruno Guimaraes first, but then they're like, okay, we already wanted Zubimendi in here. And it's like, let's try and get both. Let's get both. Why not? Now, this season, you're going to lose, or next season, you're going to lose Partey. Partey is not 100% confirmed, but so far you haven't had anything at all about him signing a new contract. He might end up staying, but if Partey stays, I don't think he'll be starting games for us next season, or regular games. That's what I mean. Jorginho is definitely going to leave. He's already leaving. And Zinchenko's all of a sudden playing in midfield. Could we be using him in midfield next season? Lewis Kelly is a midfielder as well. Will he be a permanent left back, or is he going to move back to midfield? A lot of things decisions to make. Marina is a midfielder as well. Is he going to be playing in midfield, or is he going to remain a backup for the forward positions? A lot to think about this. The preseason will be very important this time around. It's always important, but this time it's extra important to get a lot of things right heading into the season. We've already seen to compete to win the league. We've already competed for it twice seriously in this one. We've seen how far Liverpool have gone. You have to be serious from day one. You can't even start the season with a draw. That can cost you. Have to start the season right away with 9 wins out of 10. That has to be the case. So you have to start the season ready, like we did 2 seasons ago. 1 season ago, you have to start the season very, very ready. So Bruno Guimaraes is an interesting one. Bruno Guimaraes is a player that we've been linked to since his Lyon days before he joined Newcastle. We wanted Bruno Guimaraes from Lyon, but we never actually ended up getting him. But looks like we are still interested in him, and we've gotten a new director who wasn't part of the Arsenal recruitment team back then, and he also wants Bruno Guimaraes, so maybe that is something they will definitely agree on. But as they say here, Bruno has a verbal agreement to leave for 70 million if Newcastle don't reach the Champions League. Now, Bruno Guimaraes would not be my priority signing. No, that would only happen if we've already gotten a striker and a winger.